Julie Wieden is a meteorologist with Accuweather and joins us from their headquarters at State College in the U.S. state of Pennsylvania. Julia.
Hi, good afternoon. We are checking in on what's going on right now with regards to Tropical Storm Florence, first of all. And I want to let you know, we mentioned this a bit earlier on, it has been downgraded from hurricane status, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the worst is over. In fact, for many people, it's just beginning as we continue to see the heavy rain coming down and the storm surge continuing to pummel the coast. But it's not just those oceanfront areas that are dealing with storm surge. Like we mentioned, it's also the areas along the Sound and even into the rivers that we're getting that piling of water to come on up. It's very slow moving. It's moving to the west at about 3 knots. That's about 5 kilometers per hour or so. And it's nearly stalled out at times. So this means, again, more of that rain is expected to come. It's also a very wide-reaching storm. You can see on satellite imagery here, it extends all the way from Georgia and up to near Washington, D.C. Now, of course, those outer states not necessarily feeling the brunt of this storm. That's really been focused on the Carolinas so far, where we've had the heaviest of the rain and the highest of the winds. A look at where Tropical Storm Florence is going next. Well, it's moving very slowly. When you see these icons right on top of each other, basically, that means there's not a whole lot of movement over time. So as we head on into Saturday morning Eastern time, we're going to see just a very slight shift westward. Then into Sunday, we'll likely see Florence downgrade to a tropical depression, but we will still be dealing with a lot of rain, especially through western South Carolina. It's into early next week that we'll see an area of high pressure help to sweep up the system into West Virginia before it wraps around into New England as we head on into Tuesday. And even by this point, we're still talking about some pretty significant downpours occurring. A look at your current radar, and there's not really that well-defined eye anymore. In fact, you can't see an eye at all on the radar, but what you are seeing is that center of circulation just off to the north and west of Myrtle Beach, and you're still getting these feeder bands of heavy rain coming off of the Atlantic. Now, this shaded area that we have here, including Raleigh, including Newbern, which is where you saw that flooding a bit earlier, that's where we have a tornado watch that's in effect until 11 p.m. Eastern time. What happens on the northeastern sides of these systems, we tend to get these very small, very brief little spin-up style tornadoes. They can only last maybe about 15 minutes or so. That's it. And then they fizzle and fade out. And it's really tough to predict where those could occur. So we tend to see these watches going out again on the northeastern sides of our systems. That's going to last on through tonight. A look at your FUTURECAST. Again, this is a very slow mover, which means more time for that wind to pummel the coast, more time for the rain to fall. Areas like Wilmington, which is about where you had landfall occurring early this morning, that is where we're going to continue to have those onshore winds. So storm surge continuing to be a problem, not just through tonight, not just through tomorrow, but even on into Sunday. We're stopping the clock here about 6 a.m. on Saturday morning, and you can still see the same areas getting hit with rain over and over again. Now we're talking about some fairly catastrophic flooding for folks in northern portions of South Carolina and through North Carolina. This is where we're going to see significant beach damage and erosion, but areas farther back to the north and west, Charlotte and Greensboro, you are going to be dealing with possibly catastrophic damage as well straight through Monday. Now there's the possibility here that someone, just a few spots, could pick up about 1 meter of rain by the time this is all said and done with. You add that to the storm surge and to the intense waves, and that is just a recipe for, again, incredible destruction, especially at your beach areas. I want to show you some of the peak gusts that we've seen so far. Winds at Onslow Bay Buoy recorded in at 92 knots. Cape Lookout picked up a 90-knot wind as well. And when it comes to what we're dealing with right now with regards to Florence and its wind speeds, we're definitely seeing widespread areas of tropical storm force winds. In fact, in Myrtle Beach, we did pick up a very recent wind gust that was at tropical storm force at about 32 knots. Right now, they've actually ticked up a little bit, up to 41-knot wind speeds, and you can see that center of circulation right there. Again, that's the concern with those onshore winds happening over a very extended period of time. Mike?
Julia, what about Mancoot? What can you tell us about that?
Sure. Well, with regards to Mancoot, we have already seen several inches of rain falling in Hong Kong. We've already seen about 4 centimeters there or so. Now, areas farther, or excuse me, I should say in Manila. With regards to rain farther off to the north, we've seen about 30 centimeters of rain so far. Mangkhut is expected to move off to the north and west. We will see it to the south of Hong Kong on Sunday, and we're expecting to see some pretty intense rainfall there along with high gusting winds. That will be the case for Sunday, Sunday night, and into Monday. It is expected to make landfall as we go into Sunday night and Monday, just a little bit farther off to the west. As for the impacts that we are expecting, again, we do want to make sure that everyone is aware that we could be dealing with some pretty damaging winds, flooding rainfall that causes mudslides. Coastal areas, we want to make sure that you are prepared not just for the rain, but also for the storm surge that Mangkhut will bring, and this will be the case again straight through Monday.
A lot of weather activity out there. Julia, thanks for wrapping it all up for us. Appreciate it.